Hello, welcome back to In the Zone with Andrew Boris. That's me. Today's episode was lost to the sands of time. The audio recording that was the microphones, same problem as the last app. Not enough storage on the computer. And it wasn't that I didn't learn my lesson; is that I didn't learn my lesson until after this episode was recorded. So this time it's the whole episode. That is just the audio from the camera. I did my best to salvage it. It sounds not atrocious, but pretty atrocious. So sorry, especially to my very talented guest, Karina Joy, and to you guys as well. But it is what it is. We're learning on the fly here. Karina Joy was in the studio. They are an amazing singer songwriter. Songwriter first and foremost, they'll tell you that. And a lot of songwriting talk on this episode. Really enjoyed talking to them about the whole process and everything. We dive into it. So here we are. Enjoy.
In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, in the zone. I don't know where I'm ending it. Alright, that'll do.
Nice.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing alright. I just had a gig at 2 at Riley Gray.
Oh,
a nice
word.
time.
Afternoon? I don't think I've ever hit the afternoon gig. Do you like afternoon gigs?
I feel like I don't know, it's better than doing a late night gig. I like this afternoon one because like it wasn't like a setup or like a show, so it's like I do my set and I go.
Right.
I do like doing just like a show with people and like hearing everyone's music, but some days it's just nice to do the work and then go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like 2 a.m. You gotta stick around to get paid. Or you're just like I like these guys, but I just want to fucking sleep right now.
Right? Like I'm all for community. I love community
Yeah.
and like meeting new people and hearing people's music and just like supporting one another. But I'm like 23 going 50. I'm old inside. I can't be up until 2 a.m. My bones hurt.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Feel it in your soul.
Yeah.
I'm literally in bed at 10 most days. And then it's a weekend exception that I'll make, but you know.
Yeah, like I'm supposed to be like sleeping by 11 during the week because of my daycare job, like to wake up at like 7:30. But it's only actually on like the weekends or like Thursdays and Thursdays and Fridays. I'm like I want to be in bed by like 10:30, or at least like sitting on my bed, doing nothing, watching cartoons, just like relaxing. I don't like having to go out late.
What's your cartoon right now?
Okay, so my go to sleep cartoon is Adventure Time and has been for like the last 3 years. I also like Bob's Burgers. That's another great one.
Classics.
SpongeBob. Can't go wrong with SpongeBob.
I should get back into SpongeBob.
I wish that they had more seasons of it on Netflix, because I've just been rewatching. I think it's like season 9 to like they only have like 1 or 2 seasons on there right now, which sucks.
How long did it end up going?
I think there might be like 15 seasons.
Really?
That's just like pulling a number out there, but sure. I know like they kept going. And, like,
I thought there was like 6 or something, so that's.
No, there's like it's been going for a while.
Yeah.
Because that was like early 2000s show.
Yeah, I guess I had never actually like looked at like what season or what. It was just whenever SpongeBob was on when I was a kid, you just watch it.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you compare it like this, like the writing style has changed a bit, and definitely the artistic style. Like you can look at SpongeBob's designs like throughout the years. Yeah, I don't like some of the writing for like the new stuff because, like, I feel like that show's already like chaotic and whatnot. But they still had some like cool like stories sometimes, and like mysterious little hidden things that they did. They even had there's like a list of episodes that they couldn't even actually air because they ended up being too like creepy or something for kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new stuff is kind of just very like, it's like poppy kind of cartoon trash that a bunch of kids cartoons are like now.
Right.
Yeah.
I like how the writers had all this like underlying little like Easter eggs and things.
Absolutely.
I was watching some videos on.
Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole.
It's definitely a good rabbit hole. But yeah, those are my main cartoons. I watch some other ones, but those are the main ones I keep coming back to.
Adventure Time is great. I only saw it like a handful of times when I was tripping on shrooms. It is by far the best choice we've ever made of what to put on if you want something while you're tripping.
I'd say it's pretty trip safe, except for some episodes. Anything with like the Lich, or like, yeah, specifically the Lich is like the scariest thing in that.
What is that?
He is like the villain. Like his only motive is to destroy all of creation, and like it's actually pretty like especially for a cartoon, it's a pretty scary like design. He's like skeleton horns. He like possessed the body of Finn's like hero. Got his face half blasted off for one episode. They get into some deep stuff.
I think that's not terrible though if you are tripping. Like, it's good to sometimes have some intensity or like some thing to like.
You like a little bit of nightmare. You like to be just a little bit scared.
What is like it's like something a little more profound to think about, and like
sure.
Yeah, you're thinking about like, oh shit, evil does exist.
That's
crazy.
you could find profound themes, I think, in anything while you're tripping. Like, yeah. I think the weirdest looking thing I watched when I was tripping on shrooms was Ice Age, because I was watching it and I was like in my room, and I could like see through the animation, and like everything looked super unrendered and like blockish, and it just felt like the movie went on forever, and like they were just like, it was just like these animals that were traveling in like this icy place forever, seemingly, and everything just like looked really undone. So
wait, was that an effect of like is it actually kind of like that, or were you like seeing through the fucking guys?
No, like I was like seeing, like when I say see through animation, it's like when you suddenly become aware of the way something is animated, and it's like you can't really see it as like, its own, like this is its own real thing in its own real world. You see it as like, I'm watching like animated characters do this, and like any motion and detail, like I don't know, I'm sure other people experience it. I don't think everyone does. Or like a movie, when you kind of like take a step back and look at it like, oh, I'm looking at this like production wise.
Oh yeah, I got into that when we were watching Super Troopers while I was on acid, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it at all. I'm like, this is a stupid fucking movie.
Right.
And I can tell like there's yeah, it's not one you're supposed to think about. You're supposed to just
That's most of them, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why, like I'm a huge horror fan. I'm very not sensitive to horror and whatnot. But I think it's because my dad at an early age like taught me a trick of like, if you're feeling scared of it, just basically like pick it apart, turn off the sound, realize half of the fear is the sound. Or I used to be scared of this one movie called Whaley House, and like there's this scene where there's like this giant cocoon looking thing that's like growing in the attic of this haunted house, and then this guy like gets his arm pulled in, and like someone's like trying to help him pull his arm out, and by the time they pull his arm out, it's all like sinewy and bone. And that freaked me out a lot as a kid. I probably shouldn't have watched the movie as a kid. But my dad's like, no, it's fine. If you just like pause it and look, you can see his arm is actually tucked in his shirt, because you can see he's got this bigger shoulder, and that he's just got this pop-out. I'm like, oh yeah. Or like all those thuds and blah blah. That's just some crew members in the second floor of this
Right.
building stomping around,
Right.
or like when things are flying off the shelf. That's just like strings. And then like now when I watch horror movies, I can't help but just see through them. So I appreciate good ones, but from a production stance, because I can't really be just the audience anymore.
Mhm.
So
Have you experienced it all with music too, of like knowing more of how things come together on a track? Like, has that taken away any type of magic of what you've listened to before?
I think for music, if I can understand it and like properly understand it and like see it from that side, it might take away something for me. Like I'm in the midst of like doing some production on like my songs. I have someone currently producing one of my songs. Like he wants to build up his portfolio for like different genres.
Mm.
So I think it makes me more of a critic for my music. So I'm like, I can't hear the magic the way I can with other people's music because I can see all the tracks. I know exactly how we're putting this thing together.
Mm.
And so for me, I'm like, I can't tell if it has that magic because I know how all the pieces came together.
Mm.
I love music that you really have to listen to try to understand, like, okay, like how many different like tracks do they have to do this? What, instrument is that in the background? What sound and all this stuff. If it makes me wonder, then I feel like
Right.
the magic is really strong.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Sometimes I guess it can go both ways though, because like if a track is like super simple, then the magic is in like the writing.
Yeah.
And if you're still like, oh, this is like really hitting, and then it's like, that's almost like a deeper magic of like, why is the song so good?
That's how I feel about Labor by Paris Paloma, I'm obsessing over that song, along with Gigi Perez, but it's like, I was just listening to that song with my partner today, and they're like, what's this about? And then I'm like singing the lyrics, like, and just like really enunciating them, because it's like, the lyrics are so strong, and like the melody, it's in certain spots it's very monotone, and like there's just like a little bit of like no variation, but it has kind of like this march feeling to it, and with the deep lyrics like talking about kind of like women being used as like an accessory to men. It's so powerful lyrically that the other things about it that are really simple just make it that much stronger for being simple.
Right.
Yeah. It's very lovely. And same with Gigi Perez, like a lot of her music is even just like, it sounds like just guitar, like there's not necessarily drums or any other instruments on it, but whatever effects she uses for her guitar and like the rhythm guitar playing is so strong that's like it doesn't really need all those other things, because again the lyrics are so strong and her voice alone make it this very like easy thing to get stuck in your head and like really like I don't know, just good to vibe with.
That's what I think I'm most interested in for music and writing, is just like take something super simple. Like I used to be doing all this production on the computer, and I'm like, I'm just trying to be Tame Impala, and then I'm like, okay, I'm struggling to be Tame Impala because I'm like spending a half hour trying to find the perfect snare.
Yeah.
And I don't have a chorus yet. Like let's
Priorities.
let's write this song first.
Yeah.
And then I really dug into like, okay, well let's like focus exclusively basically on just like voice and guitar, just write a good song, and then we'll get pros to do the rest. We get a band later on.
Yeah, you gotta start with just like, you have something good to start with, then like that's the first step. You can have like, I don't know, some songs don't have strong lyrics and whatnot, but if then the music is really strong, then sure, that makes up for it. But I'm a lyrics person too. Like, I'm a lyricist first and foremost. It's my most developed musical skill, and so for me, I'm listening to those lyrics maybe a bit more than someone else would. I feel like maybe someone who's more of like a instrument playing musician would probably notice more of the actual music and like how the music's being played, because they can relate to that more. So maybe it's just the mindsets that we're coming at it from.
I think the good lyrics, there's, I think, something ethereal about it though, even if you're not like paying attention. you can still like it might enter your subconscious in a way where like, oh, I like this song more because it has this undefinable quality about the lyrics that just make it good.
Yeah.
Even if you're not like locked in and trying to like piece it together, you know.
Yeah. Like someone's like writing style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Kansas comes to mind when I think of that. Yeah.
Your style is very like, I find, very like literal, direct lyricism.
Mm-hmm.
Do you usually start with like an idea and you're like, I'm gonna make a song about this thing, or is it because I notice it's all pretty thematically tight, like you have like a point to the songs?
Yeah, I want to say that I try to do that. I think that's just naturally how my writing has developed. Like many songwriters, I definitely don't have one way that I've done all my songs, but sometimes like I have songs that I write in the instance of something. So these are songs I'm writing because like something in my life has happened or have been happening, and enough feelings have been worked up that's like, okay, I just have all this like let's say it's soup, right? And like I need to serve this. I gotta serve it up. Right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm adding my spices, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of just like is like free thoughts.
Yeah.
I have a number of songs where it's just like, okay, this is what I'm feeling and thinking right now. Da, 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 da. And sometimes the first time, like, it will come out already kind of in a song format. Maybe because I have a background of writing poetry, that things kind of come out in verses. Other times it might come out in kind of like word vomit, and then I sort through that later and say, okay, well, I see some lines here. I see the story here. Now how can I trim it in a way that it works in these verses and these lines? Sometimes it starts with just like a title. So it's like, okay, this is what it's going to be about. And now to figure out how to get from point A to B.
Right.
Few times it started with the actual like music itself. My song Universe Calling started with the like chord riff. And then that song was actually supposed to be just an instrumental, because I've never written just an instrumental before. And so I started writing that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then one day, after like looking at my Words of Wisdom board, which just has a bunch of my favorite quotes and stuff from like recent stuff that I've like seen, I was looking at that, and I was also on Instagram, and just like I was feeling really inspired and like feeling really good about where I was in my life. And then I just like sat down with my guitar and I was playing that riff, and then it just like came, and I finished that song in an evening. Nice. So yeah, I guess I don't have like a one answer for that. Inspiration definitely strikes me in very different ways at different times.
At some point, it seems like earlier than later in the process, you've pinpointed like what the song is, or like what the objective is. Like
I admire people who can like write very abstract. At the same time, I'm a very like to the point type of person. I don't beat around the bush. I'm very blunt. And I really like songs that are just like say what they mean. I really appreciate like the poetry of some lyricists, and like there's like artists like the Oh Hellos, or what's another one? I'm thinking of this other one that everything that they write sounds like it's like a Bible verse, like in the best way.
Yeah.
It's like they're telling a story. You can't really understand what the story is, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
And it's very like well thought out. I'm like, I just don't really like that. I just say it as it is.
I always like romanticize that style of writing. Like I want to write all this like profound stuff. I find what usually happens is if I have like a few lines that seem like larger than life, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool, like I want to expand on it. It's like you can only expand so much before you need to actually decide, like we need to get small.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have the whole song be these like abstract little sayings and things that paint this picture that you don't even know what it is, but it just sounds epic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you need to, like, get specific of, like,
Yeah.
bring it down.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. It's like sometimes the idea of like I want this song to like embody all of this and like come off like this, but really how do you make this complex thing happen when, you know, that's just not your natural style of writing, and those words don't come to you the same way they'd come to someone else. But also like I really love simple lyrics. I feel like it's very easy for those lyrics to speak to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people who listen to music and don't listen to the lyrics. And, you know, in like different songs, like sometimes you can't even make out what the person's actually saying unless you're following the lyrics along.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like writing my lyrics in a way where it's like the listener could catch on to the story very easily.
Right.
So that way they know, like, does this speak to you in a thematical sense or not? Yeah. Right now I wrote a song very recently, like last week, where I tried to do it from like a concept. I just had an idea. I was like, man, okay, I love writing spacey music. I would love to write music like titled like by different planets. And so I thought of like a little line about like running away to Mars. And so like, okay, I'm gonna write this little song about going to Mars. And I was trying to tell myself like, you know, to write abstract. I wanted to write something outside of a personal experience. But I naturally put my own personal experiences in it. It ended up being about like how I love my friends so much and I wish I could like scoop them all up and all like other really great people in the world and like let's go to Mars and like let all the shitty people stay here on Earth and do their shitty stuff. We'll go do our own thing and live our own lives.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I find I usually like don't consciously or deliberately put myself in the songs. Like I try to just like I have this idea of like, oh, this is a cool concept and I just kind of roll with it. And then it isn't until sometimes even like when it's like close to being finished that I'm like, oh, okay, this actually like I can relate to the song in this way that I hadn't necessarily like thought of when I was writing it.
So then when you're writing it, like, do you tend to write about your personal experiences or like how does your inspiration come to you?
It's just like whatever lines I think are dope, basically. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's build on that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll write stuff that's very much not me. I got a lot of definitely more violence in my songs than average, and especially as me who's never thrown a punch in my life, it's like crazy coming from me. But that's like my band's biggest song, Perfect Crime, is like, and that's the one that everyone after our shows before it was out, they were like, oh, that one's good, because there's a bit in the center where I'm like, I'll fight the next motherfucker who looks at me funny or says some shit about my shoes. And people hear that, and like that's gonna stand out, you know. And it's especially like the music kind of cuts out for a second. Says some shit about my shoes. And like, yo, that's a good song.
See, I think that's really funny because, you know, I love that you're writing this song that like you maybe don't personally relate to, but clearly it's really like a lot of other people. They're just like, yeah, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't say shit about my shoes. Yeah, like.
Alright, I met this one guy who like, this is a guy I met while I was traveling, and he was like 18, and he was fresh off a breakup of like 2-month relationship, which to him was the biggest thing that ever happened in his life. So he's all torn up about this, and he was like, I only knew him for like a day or two at the time, and we went to lunch, and he's like, because I had played some songs for him, and he's like, I feel like I really know you, like if you hear like the pain in your music and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like I'm glad you feel like you know me, like it's not really, none of it's real necessarily, but it is at the same time, you know. It's like I didn't write this to be about me, but it kind of bleeds in, and then especially in the performance, like when you give it everything you got and you try to convey it's like I might have some pain in me, or might have some small thing where I can relate to this bigger thing.
Yeah.
And I take that small thing and amplify it as loud as I can, and put it in the song.
There's a lot of pageantry to performing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's acting. Half of it. It's
Right?
like, you gotta like become the song.
Maybe I'm hoping that if I'm just like literal enough, I won't have to like, convey it visually. Only this year have I realized like, I usually don't move around too much, or like my face doesn't say too much when I perform, because I'm like, I feel like my music is saying so much. Like I have a song where I'm talking about like my abusive relationship with my mom, and I'm like, I feel like this song is saying enough. Like do I really need to also what do you want me to do, cry? Yeah, but it definitely makes for a better performance if you can like convey it, even if like you don't fully connect with it in that moment. But then also if you're writing about this stuff that's not really you, how do you write it from like what perspective can you actually put into it, or are your like other people influencing some of that perspective? How do you write from an angle that you haven't really experienced?
I mean, I guess at some point I have like a more solid idea of like who our narrator is, and then I kind of like dive further into that. So like on that Perfect Crime song, it started innocently enough. There was just like some slightly ominous bars at the start, and then it just like progressively got more fucked up, and this guy just kept getting more twisted, and then on the last verse I was like, fuck it, let's make him a murderer, let's make him burn this guy's house down. And I just had fun with it, and then it was like 40 minutes to write it. It was like one of the quickest I've ever written a song that I really love like that.
Yeah. Would you say you're a concept artist then?
No, because I didn't actually have, like, it kind of just unfolded. Like, I didn't have the concept necessarily.
But I mean like a concept artist, meaning like so there's like authentic artists, concept artists, so someone who is just there themselves in their music, and that's how portrayed, versus someone who's like Chapel Roan, like she puts on like a persona. And you can still write stuff from like your own like authentic perspective and everything, but it might be more thematic, or like you're trying to put out like a certain feel or storyline about what you're writing.
Yeah, I guess like I adopt different angles, and it's kind of a cross in between them. Like I was just saying, like I'll find myself in every song in some capacity, but then as I'm writing it, there's never this thing of like, I want to write about this thing that happened to me, or I want to write about this part of myself. It's just like, it's like I'm serving the song first. Like I had this one idea, this one fragment, and then we're just like expanding on it, trying to make it good.
Okay.
And then I almost, I feel like I do like take myself out of it deliberately, maybe.
Okay.
And then kind of once it's all done, then I can like kind of go back and be like, okay, I can relate in this way or that. But most of the time it's just like my band's most recent song we just wrote. It's called Still Love That Bitch. It's about this like, they have the Crazy X songs. This bitch is crazy. Like she's maybe the dude in Perfect Crime who's burning the house down. There's a lot of fire in this song.
Gotcha.
So absolutely not like based on anything true. I've never had a chick light my clothes on fire.
But if I did, this is what that would sound like.
Yeah. Oh, and then we brought her mom into it. We're like,
nice.
I went to talk to her mom because I was confused, but she took the batteries out my fire alarm. So it's just all nonsense.
And you write with your band?
That one was probably the most collaborative we've done. It was just me and Alec, lead guitarist. But it was kind of, that one was in the works for a while because Alec had a instrumental that he titled "Still Love That Bitch," but he didn't have any lyrics to it, and that was like a couple of years ago. And then last year, or I guess earlier this year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually make that into a song. So, but just not based on his instrumental, just on the title. I was like, because when he showed me the title, I'm like, that's a good title. Like we gotta make that into something at some point.
Okay, so you got inspired by like his title and went from there.
Yeah, and then because that was, it was just so clearly was like, hey, this has to be a song about like just an absolutely absurdly toxic person, and then but I still love her for some reason.
Yeah, and that's I feel like love and like still being in love with someone, not being able to get over someone, breakup songs like that. Those are like the bread and butter of music. Like that's something that majority of people can relate to.
Yeah.
Is either being like fulfilled in a romantic sense or devastated.
Yeah. And even though that song goes so absurd, it's like, well, I've had little things with people where I'm like, you know, I can extrapolate from what I've experienced. Like, I haven't experienced anyone setting my shit on fire.
Yeah.
But I've had my heart, squeezed.
Right.
So you just fucking expand outward and just make it this bigger thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I can't say I've written many breakup songs. I've written 2. So I was like, okay, well, I made one, and I was like, I guess that's it for now. And then there happened to be a second one from the same breakup, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm good for a few years. Got the breakup stuff out. Because every artist I feel like needs their one love song, needs their one breakup song.
Yeah. Do you have anything you're working on right now?
So there's the Mars song, which I'll probably end up showing you sometime soon because it's unfinished instrumentally. There's an instrumental bit and going into a bridge that I need to figure out. But I have some songs that I started writing a while ago that I just haven't like shown people yet. There's one I'm really excited to show people, but I'm like really like, should I do it now? Because it's definitely like a very storytelling type of song. Like it's really easy to follow the narrative throughout. And it's about a wild story where, so in September I went through a big breakup. We were together almost 3 years. The breakup happened very like suddenly out of the blue, and there wasn't a super clear rationale. It was kind of vague. Anyways, I was heartbroken. And 2 of my friends who were supporting me through that breakup, also friends with the now ex, they were like supporting me and whatnot. And then I found out a few months later that like basically right after the breakup, those guys had like a threesome with my ex.
Whoa.
And we're gonna like keep it a secret from me because they're like, well, we didn't think it would like, it wasn't about you. It didn't involve you. We're all adults. I'm like, okay, but like morally.
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep it a secret, but you're gonna go tell all of our friends and brag about it. Yeah. So I wrote a song about that, and
that's some good juice.
Right? I'm like, I'm never gonna have like, and honestly, by then I wasn't even like too mad. Like I was like betrayed, but like not in like a, oh my god, like a, that's terrible. I was kind of like, that's a pretty shitty thing to do, and I guess we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe I'm like a little sadistic, because after they told me, I was like, man, it's gonna be a great song like after this.
I have that thought a little too much too.
When bad things happen in my life,
so.
I'm like, oh, this sucks, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's really good on the page.
Yeah.
Honestly, that mentality, I don't know if it's unhealthy or not. I'm gonna say it's healthy, because I'm expressing myself. But that mentality gets me through some hard times. I'm like, either I tell myself, what I'm going through right now will either be a really good song, or it'll be a really fun chapter in my future biography, or whatever. Like, this is just another interesting chapter of my life that maybe someday we'll read about, watch, listen about, whatever it may be.
Yeah. And it's probably not something to fixate on if you're like going through grief. You just be like, okay, well let's see it through. But in the back of your mind, it's nice to have that in your pocket of like, but also this is gonna be a good song. But like, hold off for a second, feel the sadness, and then we'll fucking make this song.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like writing a song about the stuff that happens in his life is a good way to like, you're acknowledging it, you're sitting there, clearly you're thinking about it, and like, kind of sifting through it.
Sort of
Processing, yeah. And then, but you're also kind of organizing those feelings. You're putting it on a page where you can go over it and like really understand what you're feeling and what you're putting out. And so you're giving it the attention it deserves. And then also creating something that like, it captures this moment in your life in a really beautiful, meaningful way. And like I have, like that's a song about like my mom relationship. I remember when I wrote it, I was like in the midst of it, and it was like, it was sad and everything. And but then afterwards, it's kind of like, yeah, this is kind of just like, oh, it's all contained in this bubble. I can like go back and like appreciate it, and knowing that I've processed and understood it.
Right.
And same difference with like, if you have like good memories with like a song, even if you didn't write it, it's just like it brings you back to that place and it holds that memory in a really, really special place.
True. I think I get what you mean. We were like writing a song about like while you're in the moment of this very emotional event, like you can come back to it then, and it's like you can feel a bit of what you felt at that time, and also it like reflects the lessons you learned from that time. It's like a way to heal.
And sometimes it's even like, remember when I felt that way about that?
Right. Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when I wrote a so the second breakup song I wrote, it's called Purple, and it was just, I called it Purple because that's just how I felt inside. It was, if I felt like messy and like this and that and just like a mix of things, and I felt purple. And I remember when I wrote it, or when I was writing it, and I showed my dad it, and I was just like, I'm like, I feel stupid that I'm writing the song because I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be over this already. And like the first lyrics are like, I shouldn't want this, but I want you. And it's kind of like I should be over this, but and yet I'm still grieving this relationship that I'm like, really like mentally I'm done with. And I remember, I was like, so like, I was writing it kind of like shamefully, like, oh, I shouldn't be going through this still. And I'm like, the world is never going to see this. This will be a song that I never share with anyone because it's like, what a shitty feeling. And now I'm just like, no, I vibe with this song. This is great.
Yeah.
And I love playing it right after like a love song because again, I'm a little sadistic.
Right.
I'm like, here's a love song, and now here's the end of love song.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same effect anymore. I'm like laughing at myself for thinking, oh, I was never going to share this. This is wonderful. This is a wonderful piece of art to share.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you think the best songs come from when you're writing in that state where like you're very much in it and you're like feeling what you're writing about at that moment, or from afterwards when you've had time to reflect and process and you kind of write it after the fact, like more objectively?
I love this question. I've been waiting for someone to ask me this question.
Nice.
I have a little pattern in which I write the instance and the aftermath. So I have a few songs that I call sister songs because they're related to each other, because one was written in the instance of something and the other was written in the aftermath. So even that song I was talking about like my now ex-friends like being shitty and doing stuff with my ex. So that one was called Karma. And then after that, I wrote a song called Let Go. And they're similar, like, chords-wise, and I do that on purpose. But it's kind of supposed to show, like, the difference. Like, in the first one, I'm explaining the events that happen. I'm questioning, you guys have put me in this predicament. Like, do you realize what you're doing to my head? And I'm expressing, like, you know, like the upsetness about it, and then let go and like, you know what, shit happens, you know. You can't prepare for this kind of stuff, and you kind of just have to keep moving. I have a few songs like that, like there's Real One and Tell Me. That's a love song, and then breakup song. They actually go to, like, you could play them on top of each other and they would be in sync. And a handful of other ones too. I tend to think that when I'm writing something in the instance, especially if it's emotionally heavy, I convince myself I won't share that music because I'm like, whoa, this is like personal music. But then I find, and especially with feedback I've gotten from other people, is that I think it's more important to share the things that I don't want to share with the world, because that's the kind of stuff the world needs to see.
Yeah.
Because someone else in the world who may come about my music someday hear that, especially if they're feeling a similar way and feeling shame about, you know, feeling what they're feeling, and then they'll find something that perfectly encompasses and expresses that and brings it to light, and then, you know, then I fulfilled my job as an artist. I follow the quote by Pablo Picasso: "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away."
Right.
If I can be vulnerable and share things that I felt ashamed about or scared about, and if I can share that anyway, I can give someone else the strength to maybe do the same, or just sit with their emotions knowing that someone else was able to share that too. So then it's like, it's not about me anymore. So that mentality definitely helps decide if I'm going to share something. Could it help someone else? Possibly. Okay, then yeah, it's worth sharing.
I find with like, because I have one song in particular that's super personal to me about my mom dying, and that one I didn't share with anyone. I shared with my brother when I wrote it, and then like no one else for a long time, because, well, okay, like now I will sing it for anyone who will listen, but like I'm always hesitant to bring it out because like I don't want just like play it if like we have like several people hanging out or something, and people are like not paying attention and just like kind of like talking and stuff. I'm like it's like it like means so much to me. Like I don't want to just play it
to no one.
Just like if you're locked in, I'm there. I'll play it, but you know.
I feel that. That's how I feel. So I started feeling that way about my song. It's called Mama Needs Her Baby, and it's actually a song I'm working on like producing right now.
Oh, nice.
And like I tend to take it out of set lists, even though it's like the song has been so important for me. I feel like it's an important part of my story as an artist. Like, you know, people should maybe know that I'm writing like this from a stance of having one parent, and what that and you know that has an impact on my music and like my life and everything. And so I used to like shy away from performing. I don't play it at like open mics often, and if I do, only at certain open mics, because I'm also scared of that. Like, oh well, who's gonna be listening to this adult song? Now I try to like make light of it by going like, anyone hear like really sad songs? Well, here's a really sad song.
Yeah.
But I think those things should be shared anyway. But I totally get that perspective.
Yeah. I think ones like that are better for the album. Like put it out. If someone wants to take the time to like properly listen to it, that's amazing. But like, yeah, playing it live, it also just like the sad songs in most environments we're playing at, right? Like if people aren't, unless they're like paying a bunch of money to go see a performance, like if you're just playing a bar or something, like no one wants to hear the sad song about your mom. It's unfortunate, but
it is what like it is. There might still be people in that crowd who like appreciate it and are listening, but I definitely get like go with the energy of the venue.
Yeah.
So I usually play my faster stuff, but I'm like, man, I only have like this many fast songs, so I guess you guys are gonna hear a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, okay, I can either keep playing the same like handful of faster songs, or I can just, I don't know. I try to tell myself like, anytime I start having that anxious thought of like, what if they don't like this? What if this doesn't fit the vibe? I'm just like, shut up, just shut up and shut up and play.
I think there is something to just like feeling and creating your own vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what is going on in the crowd right now, like, how do I feel right now, and what do I want to create right now? What am I really feeling?
And people need to know I make sad music sometimes because if you don't like sad music, you might not like a bunch of music.
Right.
I am a little bit of melancholy person sometimes, and
they can be like,
if I show you
like,
that,
I love Karina Joy. They have such happy songs, and you go to stream and it's like, what the fuck is this?
their only song out, Mom needs to be oh.
Yeah.
It's like I need people to know this about me so they're not surprised later on. It's like, no, I'm a sad boy sometimes, and that's not all everything, but it's gonna count for maybe 50%. Yeah, but you know, all the power. Power to vulnerability.
Who are you recording with?
Marshall, my
nice
drummer.
Yeah.
Marshall Riley.
I know he produced. That's sweet.
Yeah, he produces his own stuff. He has like a whole album just like sitting and waiting right now. And yeah, like I like working with him, and the style that he like produces his stuff I think is very similar to what I'd like some of my stuff to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm also working with like this guy Omar from Winnipeg. He's producing my song July, which is a song I wrote like 2 years ago, which is like a nostalgic type of song. And I've recorded with like one other person in my life, but that went shitty because the guy ended up being shitty. So, yeah, just those two right now.
The guy being a vibe is very important in the studio, especially if you're playing all these very vulnerable songs.
Yeah, like if I can't like, I don't know, if I feel uncomfortable at all in a studio, you're just not gonna get good music. It's got to be like a good vibe, and like definitely have to have some like shared I guess vibes or something.
Mm-hmm. We recorded with Shelby, our drummer. His friend produces, and he did a really good job of like, well, it's a home studio, pretty small room, but that kind of adds to it. It's like a little claustrophobic, but it's like cozy, you know. And
cozy.
Then he had a VHS, old ass TV VHS, and we were recording Perfect Crime, and he's like, I figured Fight Club would be a good one to throw on. So we walk in there, and it's already playing on with no volume. I'm like, nice. It's
nice.
Good vibe.
I love that. See, the only one of the things I dislike about working in the studio, which I don't do often, but I need to get into the habit of now, because I'm like, yeah, I've got the getting gigs and performing part, now I actually have to put out music. Okay, cool. I don't like sitting around doing nothing. I have ADHD. Sitting around and waiting is like torture. And so I co-produce with Marshall. I'll record my own stuff at home when I can, because I have like at least a demo studio. I do my vocals, sometimes my guitar at home, send him the tracks. He plugs it into Logic, and I'll sit there and do like splicing and cutting and that kind of stuff. I can like, what's the word? I can count my vocals and stuff and like cut up my breaths. And I'm like, once I do the little things that I can do, I'm like, okay, you can do all the hard stuff.
Right.
But even then, I'm just like sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, or I bring my crochet stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I sit there and I just crochet. It really sucks that it's not really appropriate to be eating snacks in the studio due to sound.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that's the only thing that's really missing is like, you know, just having some like snacks out.
Yeah.
But you know, you're eating, you're touching things, you're crunching.
That's true.
It's just not ideal.
That is one thing I mean, we're getting there with this room. There's a big room to record in. I could maybe use a room upstairs too, but
you also put like a curtain.
Yeah, that is something that has been brought up. We'll for sure do that.
Yeah.
Because then if you can get the recording at home at least, that gives you an extremely comfortable environment to record, and you have as much time as you need to get the right take.
Yeah.
And then you send it off for the real hard stuff, like you're saying. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, like I admire like any like DIY stuff for music because it's expensive to like, you know, not only just encapsulate what you created like in a performance, but then okay, now to encapsulate like the version that people will hear wherever they are comfortably listening to music. And like I'm just like right now it's kind of nice knowing that, you know, I've done this recording stuff with that other producer and like he's just off, he's doing the work and I'm just like living my life. I think I would prefer that than like sitting in the studio and like like this and this, but also I have to do that with Marshall as I'm like, okay, I have these kind of ideas,
right,
so like we can
you
talk
do
about
want to
them
be
this
there
way
in some capacity,
because I want to have inputs, but I think it's just the sitting in there and watching because I'm like and maybe also I don't like people watching me when I work, so I'm like I don't want to sit there like looking over your shoulder analyzing everything you're doing.
I think it is really nice too to have someone else be the one to pull the trigger, like it's done now. Because like with Riley, that was the one guy who produced Perfect Crime, Riley Ratio. He's like, it's like the final mix. When I initially heard it, I wasn't in love with it. I'm like, it's not exactly how I envisioned it. Now I quite like it, and I like how everything sounds. But yeah, the time it was like if it was a project that I was working on at home, I would have kept going, and I would have like, it's not there yet. I gotta redo this, gotta redo that, and it's like at some point it's just this is the version, and now I'm quite happy with the version. I just had to like sit with it for a while, you know.
Yeah.
And even just to like have the forced acceptance, I guess, of like, well, this is what it is. You can like it or you can not. This is how it is. Because you only have so much studio time, you only have so much, resources to put into it. So
I worry that now that I'm producing with like a friend who, I could just like we could keep doing draft after draft, but I'm like I'm so picky for like my own sound because again it's that magic thing. If I made it, I'm like, does it have the magic though? Am I gonna hear? Are other people gonna hear something that maybe I won't hear? So I don't know. I guess I'll find out soon enough.
And that's the other thing too. If you're like mixing it and you're hearing it back infinite times,
numb to your
and then
voice.
You don't even know what you're hearing anymore. You're just
that's when you got like stuff. That's like, there's like when you let a song cook or bake, like, after writing it, it's like let the lyrics sit for a while, come back to it later, see if you still like feel good about those lyrics. Same thing with like producing is, because I used to produce music for myself in high school. It wasn't good. I deleted it all off Spotify like in October because I had like 2 EPs, an album, 10 singles. I had a lot of music out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like rebrand because it just didn't sound the way I wanted my music to sound. But yeah, I imagine it's much easier when someone else can be like, actually no, you're just gonna have to deal with where this is at. Anything outside of that is kind of just like being too picky and like tedious. Yeah.
What was I gonna ask? I just had a question. But I'm new to this.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, you don't have like a question sheet. You just like fire it off.
Well, I had. I gotta start writing down. I had a few notes on my phone, and I think I've covered them all already. But then my phone's recording. So we got to go analog. We got to go old school with the notebook and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to remember.
Yeah.
I fail immediately. I've had a few hits to the head, so my memory isn't quite what it used to be, which wasn't great in the first place. Let me just say, but
this is what it was. Because you're talking about sitting on lyrics and coming back to it. Do you think usually when you do that, you like the lyrics more or less? Which one is happening more often?
It's hard to say. I feel like there's a few factors that go into it because I do have a handful of songs that they're like one draft wonders. Like I wrote, like it all came out in like a flow, and it just came onto the page so perfectly, and I never changed it, and like it's been cemented. Like my song "Real One," I wrote that in 2020, and I wrote that in one evening because I was like, you know, all messed up about some like crush on some guy, and then I'm like laying on my living room floor and thinking about like, well, what even is love? And I'm like, well, love is having the blah 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 blah. And I had this whole song in one night, and I really liked it at the time. And then I performed it here and there. And by the way, in 2020, this is when I graduated, so I was still in high school. And so, I've put it out there, performed it a few times, whatnot. And over the years, I was just like, yeah, like, I don't know what I could add or take away from this. Like, I feel like it's just like, this was everything that needed to be said. And then there's other times where I'll start writing a song, and be like, this sounds like pretty good, but I don't know if it's encapsulated the idea quite right. And then it's kind of a matter of like, okay, I haven't been able to think of anything better. Do I just kind of like accept where it is now, because I really can't think of anything better, but I still feel like something's missing. It's like, how much stress do I want to put into this?
For me, it's like at that part, like I used to be very much like, if it's not perfect, it's not done, right? And over the last like year or two, I've been a lot more like, well, if the one line isn't perfect, like, especially I think like try to give the line everything, like try performing it and like try to believe it.
Yeah.
And that can make it good.
Yeah. Know? I remember like I have this song "Hold Your Breath." You might be familiar with that one.
Yeah.
And the bridge for that one. Originally, I wasn't so sure about it. I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm fully sure. Like, I can't tell if it's like tacky or if it just fits the song. And then I was like, you know what? I'll let it cook for a week. And then I waited and then I played it more. And then, I think it just took a few people being like, oh yeah, I like the bridge. I'm like, okay, so.
Yeah. There's something.
If it's the song, it's not tacky.
Yeah.
It's either it sticks out a little bit too much or it sticks out perfectly. And it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like, and especially because when I write bridges and stuff, I commonly like to use like major seventh chord and stuff. I like to add like that spacey kind of vibe. I'm like, does it work for this one? Only time will tell. Even this Mars song I'm writing, I'm like, I feel really good about it. But like, I showed it to my friends and they're like, yeah, nice. I'm just like, oh wait, does that mean it's bad? Because like I'm so excited about it, but you guys are just like, yeah, it's a nice song. But I'm like, is that the reaction I need, or do I just need to like practice performing it more? Does it need to cook longer?
It's tough because sometimes, like, it's like you want to take the friends' opinions with a grain of salt, but oftentimes they are onto something. Like, if they say a song is your best, maybe it's not your best, but it's at least good.
Yeah.
And if they say they are, like, I have some friends who would be super honest and be like, not big on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, fuck, is that one actually shit? It's like, but I like that one. And then it's like, sometimes, I don't know, I still haven't figured out what the balance is.
Yeah.
If people don't seem to really vibe with this one, but I really like it, like, do I still commit to it because I like it? Like, I don't really.
Well, like, I feel like, yeah, it's definitely a bit of a balancing act of make songs that are for you.
Yeah.
First, but then also songs that are for your audience, especially if you have one that you're, catering to. Yeah, like, if someone doesn't really like it, like, if they have some, like, a proper critique that they can give you.
That's important.
If
they're just like, I just don't like it. It's
like, okay, that maybe you
I
just don't like the style or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus like, I like this and this, but there's this part that like, I feel like this wording doesn't make sense, or there's this part musically that's just like not sitting right with me. Then it gives you something to actually consider and reflect on.
Yeah.
Like my dad, like he's been a fan of my music throughout my music journey. But, you know, he would also make, like, notes saying, like, I just feel like it's missing something. I feel like it's supposed to go to this place. I'm just like, you don't even know where you are.
Yeah.
Where's it supposed to go? You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in this rocket ship, okay?
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna be vague and make me, like, panic about, like, well, my song is missing something.
Yeah.
But it's missing the fact that it's not metal music. That's what it's missing. And I'm not, like, a crazy vocalist.
Double kick. I don't know.
Right? So, yeah, like, and certain friends, like, I don't know, I take compliments and stuff, like, very, like, surface level for the most part, because a lot of people are just nice and just want to say something nice when you perform something. Like, I swear, this one time I was at, like, what do you call it, like a jam night at Tap House back when Jay Spodner's band was still doing that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went up and I sang Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers. This was the first time I've ever sang with a live backline. And I could not hear myself.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I really can't hear anything. And so I belted the song, like, on, like, kind of off key. I was on key, but I was singing, it sounded like a weird harmony line I was doing.
Okay.
I was not singing the right melody. But I couldn't tell, and I couldn't hear myself to adjust. And afterwards, everyone's, like, pounding me and, like, being like, oh, yeah, that was so good, that was great, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, like, am I being gaslit? Am I gaslighting myself?
Yeah.
And then I asked my friend Eamon, and I was like, was I off key? Yeah, you were off key.
Yeah, I was listening to Eamon.
But it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And other people, I was like, yeah, I think I was off key. They're like, no, you were great. I'm just like, So, like, most people just want to say something
I've
nice.
seen concerts and then talked to people afterwards, and I'm like, did we see the same concert?
Sometimes you just, like, love the song or the person enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. It helps if you, like, you know, if you fuck up or make a mistake or whatever, it's, like, not the end of the world. But if you want real feedback, know which people to give you real feedback.
Yeah.
So, like, when I want song advice, I bring it to certain people, like Marshall, because, like, if I'm like, Marshall, I want you to pay attention to this lyrically and give me feedback, because I really respect his input. And he'll give me, typically give me constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Same with E-Man for sound and everything. Other friends, you know, they might be like, yeah, I don't listen to this genre ever, but, you know, it sounds good to the ear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they can give.
Yeah.
Versus people at open mic that just want to, you know, pat you back because you performed at open mic, and, you know, that in itself is good.
Mm.
Yeah.
I do think the best feedback is in the moment on stage. You can, like, see how the music is affecting people. Or lack thereof.
But if this is true, then I'm a shit musician, because I, like, seeing the audience makes me so anxious, because I'm like, I'll perform something and I'll feel really good about it. I'm like, yeah, I can tell I'm, like, really hitting these notes strong and playing blah blah. And I look out to the crowd and I just see a bunch of dry faces, right? And I'm just like, God, like, this must be awful. Like, I thought it sounded so good from where I was. And then, like, afterward, I'm just like, man, I think that was shit. And people are like, what do you mean? That was great. I'm just like, I don't know. Everyone looked, like, bored out of their mind. Some people are even sitting there just like, third res. And they're like, no, that's people, like, taking it and thinking.
Yeah.
And I realize the audience is the problem sometimes.
Yeah.
People's listening faces need to get better.
Yeah.
Because you could be giving a great performance and people be looking at you like you just, like, I don't know, did some, like, freaky shit. Yeah.
I will say the difference, like, between me doing a solo show and with the band is dramatic. Like, solo show will very much be like that, where no one's moving around, no one's, like, they're all just, they're, sometimes people are smiling, like, nice. You know, when I hit the songs about murder, they're like, "Whoa, murder, nice." But then, for the most part, it feels while you're on stage like I'm having way less of an impact than I actually am. And then after the set, everyone's like, "Oh, that was great," that was whatever. I think the thing that really grabs the crowd is the drums and bass.
Rhythm section.
Yeah.
They have it all.
They do. So you're halfway there. You got the cajon
Yeah,
in the group.
and that's at this point, like, I've been performing solo for so long that now that I have a band, I'm like, I don't want to perform alone. I'm like, I have, but I don't want to because even just
the
having that little
cajon adds a lot.
It adds a lot. Like,
yeah.
Even my set today, I'm thinking like, there's parts where like the cajon like stops and then it's just me, and those parts are way more powerful when there's a piece to take out.
Right.
Like it adds so much more dynamic to the music that I can't really do on my own. And some people are fantastic musicians on like their guitar and can hold that attention and whatnot. Like I'd say like Jacob Finley, he is incredible on the guitar and like everyone's just so captivated. I imagine their faces probably also look similar, where it's like they have their listening faces on, which is like really boring.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. The drums and bass really add a lot because I feel like when I'm making like like the stank face at a good show, it's because the bass.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I've heard a lot of guitar solos that can like make me like scrunch up.
Yeah.
But the bass or like the drums, like I find myself like mimicking or moving with that.
That's really like when you're dancing, that's what you're dancing to.
Exactly.
100%. It's the drums and the bass. That's what moves your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't compete on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a 100% a place for the chiller sets. Like at Folk Fest, I saw Jeffrey Martin. Did you catch that one?
No.
He was so good. He was at like, I think it was like 4 p.m. or something at Little Stage in the Forest.
On the Friday?
Yes.
Because I missed all of the artists I wanted to see on Friday because I was determined to stay and support like and watch all like the YPP folks.
But how was your experience with that?
I love the mentorship portion of it, like the first few days. It was pretty cool. I wish I would have had more time to talk with my mentor. I had so many questions, and I still have more questions to ask him like online because, he said like he wants to stay in touch with people and he's like open to like still giving feedback and whatnot. But when it came to the day, I was really like feeling bittersweet. This is like was my 4th year going to Folk Fest, and I used to go to it with my mom. She's not in my life anymore, so this was like the first time where I was really just doing it on my own. But she was also someone who like, she's the person I camped with for the first time like a few years back. So I was thinking about that a lot. So my heart was kind of heavy. But I shared that with my like group mates and stuff. That I was like, I'm really happy to be here, but also I'm kind of thinking about this stuff and feeling sad and just some like my friends the Rangers, they came out to see me, but no one else really like that I knew well came out. So I was also kind of just like, man, this is like so special for me, but like my dad didn't come, so I couldn't really share this with him, and it was very bittersweet. I'm really happy I did it. I wish I could have been in a better headspace when I performed, but you can't always, like, you're sometimes gonna have to perform when it's less than ideal. And the rest of the festival, like, I made a friend, on the Saturday when I was kind of thinking of like just heading home, so I ended up staying, and I'm glad I did because I found some nice moments throughout the festival.
Nice.
I did a lot of crocheting.
Nice. That's a vibe, actually.
I just set my blanket and I just like crochet for hours. I redid an entire sweater, like in my Saturday afternoon.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And at least for your songs, because they are a lot more low key. Like I just had this nightmare vision of like being in that headspace, but your set is all like happy songs, and you gotta come out and tap dance, and you're just.
I was gonna do the song about my mom there, and then I ended up choosing. I did Brand New Eyes in Universe Calling, because I was like, do I want to stack my 2 Spacey songs together? Might as well. I love Spacey stuff. And I was like, these are upbeats. I feel confident about singing and playing them, and I brought my pedal board, which I need for both these songs, so why not? But it was also really cool. Our group was the only one where we kind of like joined each other on a few songs.
Oh, cool.
So like Parker Beasley like did some like lead guitar on Universe Calling, which was great because usually my guitarist would do a part there, and so the song feels kind of empty without a lead line happening. So he joined for that, or all of us like did some vocals on like Taylor Grace's song, and we were all like howling together. For one of the Sams, because there were 3 Sams in my group. I pulled up my banana shaker and like did some percussion, so it was really fun like getting to kind of join each other a little bit. I think that made that like brightened things up, whereas like I'm kind of sad, but hey, I'm also kind of getting to jam.
I got a banana.
Yeah, I got a banana.
My band needs a banana shaker. I don't know when we would use it. We don't have a shaker for any song, but
just
you get
just
the
play
banana shaker is the priority, and then you work it in somehow.
Or even just like because clearly bananas is like the focus of the band, right? Just hang some like fresh bananas somewhere just as decor.
That was pretty nice. We did do at one set. We had bananas in a couple mic stands as a goof.
You just like in between songs, break it off, have a little snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was like our friend brought in a banana, and then she like threw it to me at the very end. I had a bite and threw it back, but then like she said they tried it at the tap house, and then security at the tap house was like,
No
I
food.
don't fucking think so.
They're serious about their no food indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from your mentor at the program?
I think it's again. I still have questions I want to ask him about. I found that some of the questions I was asking him, like, kind of like, oh, I'm in this position with my music. Like, what should I prioritize next and whatnot? It's really came off that's like there is no proper answer for a lot of the questions I have, and that's everyone has their own unique situation they're in, whether or not that is accommodating or not for their music. Everyone's gonna have these different struggles, so it's like there's not really any advice that he could give me that was like, like that can serve everyone type of thing. So having those conversations with him definitely helped put some perspective that like, yeah, I can work with whichever people, whatever mentors, but no matter what I do, it's going to be different than what other musicians are having to do, because we all have these very different circumstances and variables in our life. But I'll say that the mentorship program really gave me a perspective of just like how much different my road is going to be among like so many other artists. First of all, I felt like the mega minority there, because like I was the only like visibly brown person in the entire room. Not to say that I was the only person of like color, but like there's some mixed people, but like visually I really stuck out. I was also one of the like 3 genderqueer people, and we all like introduced ourselves and like shared our pronouns, and I was like, okay, yeah, that really defines like the diversity in the room. And just realizing like, wow, yeah, out of like 200 applicants, this is the diversity, right?
True.
And so that had me talking to some of the panelists, like speakers, about like, yeah, I look around this room and I don't see a single person like me. And I'm like, I feel like my path is going to be so very different because of that. But I think that's also a good thing for me to have like realized, because now it's making me want to take initiative to find or create a space, especially in Winnipeg, for artists like me, queer, people of color, people that are maybe like marginalized or do not make up the majority of artists and musicians, because someone's got to pave the way for the next person, right? And there's not a lot of references for artists like that in Winnipeg. Like, I can barely name I think I can name like 2 or 3 genderqueer artists alone in the city, but none of them are like people of color either. So I think that was my biggest takeaway, my path is going to be my very own unique path for music. But it's daunting, but also exciting.
I think it's good to have your own thing as well, on some level. It's like, I mean, music is a lot about image. It is, unfortunately. And I think you can lean into that a little more and be like, here's more of a unique image and vibe.
I did find it slightly reassuring when I heard one of the participants there, and she's like white, female, and one of her questions for the grant, the people like from Factor and stuff, and basically like people talking about like writing grants, was like, how can I make my grant, like my proposal, stand out from the rest? Like I'm just a white girl and I'm not gay or anything. Like how can I stick out from the crowd? And I was like laughing to myself. I'm just like, man, the difference in perspectives. Because like here I am going like, oh my god, like I'm like alone and I stand out and blah blah. And then here's this girl who's like, I blend in too much.
Yeah.
So that was a good perspective shift. And I heard a quote recently that was like, the qualities that you're afraid will like be your disadvantage might end up being the thing that makes you unforgettable.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines. I was like, maybe I'll stick out for these reasons, but also maybe I'll be remembered for those same reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all the greatest artists are not people who blended in.
No.
Right? They stood out.
Yeah, they wore fur coats and little sunglasses.
Yeah.
Something I do too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if you're gonna stick out, just shine.
Yeah.
Shine and strut your stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Karina Joy, I think we'll leave it there.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Do you have anything you want to say to the people? Anything you want to plug?
I'm gonna have new music coming out hopefully this fall. There's stuff being produced right now, so you can find me on at least Spotify and other streaming platforms at Karina Joy. My social media across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is also Karina Joy. And have a good life, I guess.
Wish that for everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff.